if you're driving around this country and you're driving through certain areas and your radio automatically seeks out different stations, you could probably hear me for several hundred miles.
Better music, less chat. FM 103 Horizon, a better music mix for Milton Keynes. Miller is unlike any other beer. Drink it. London's LBC 1152 News.
And the noise that you can hear now is...
I would say I make commercials for a living. I do the voice for radio and TV commercials, and sometimes I do documentary work. And I also broadcast on the radio occasionally.
210 FM. Roll with it. Sets your concert seat alight with Oasis Live.
A typical day would be getting up around about 7 or 8 o'clock, as I live here in this flat here. And then with ISDN, it's like, well, I mean, I'm sitting here right now waiting for the phone to ring, basically. Hello, Greg here. Michael Birch, as I live and breathe. ISDN is very simply a glorified telephone line. It is basically studio quality. Of course, yes. I mean, I've got a good microphone. You have to have a good microphone. Mixing desk, DAT machine, in case I need to record something, and the actual black box itself, the ISDN unit. And these are all over the world. So it's definitely more of an sound. And it's linear without the D, or at least with a non, you know. Okay. On Sunday evening, I fax out my availability for the whole week. The rest of the week, I sit here and I wait for people to phone me up and say, "Can you do this?" Right, I'll fax you the script, and then we hook up.
Level, please, Gregory.
Another totally useless piece of information brought to you by Howard Taylor and the Morning Crew.
I am required from time to time to actually front up at the studios of GWR Bristol. The programme production department is run by 3 wonderful people. Grant, who's the manager, Paul, who's basically Grant's right-hand person, and Lana, who's Grant's left-hand person. So I go in and they have a bundle of scripts, liners, tags, idents, positioners, statements, promos, whatever it is. I guess on average I probably would be in there every, say, 2 days. Sometimes, certainly, I'm in there virtually every day.
It's going to be over a sort of western dun 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 dun.
Marlborough country, eh, Paul?
Yes. Hey, and I don't know whether or not you can think of anything better than Paradise.
I mean, sometimes it gets a little bit inconvenient, in as much as I'm obviously wanting to stay home as much as I can to make sure I don't miss out on any jobs here. Phone calls. So I usually say, okay, I'll come in really early. And when I say really early, I'm talking about maybe as early as sort of like 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock. Because I get down there, I do it, I knock it off, then I come back home again, and then I'm ready for ISDN work.
As part of GWR-FM's new Sound of Summer, this week...
Some of the stuff I get to do is, I think, really very creative, but a lot of it is very straightforward. And therefore, when I'm doing line after line after line, I'm putting everything I've got into it. But ultimately, inside of me, if you like, it's just, it's just the job. Stopping to think of the fact that on the hour, virtually every hour, particularly through the daytime, there's probably 30 stations that have got essentially the same thing. This is the news from wherever it is, and it's kind of like, wow.
It's 6 o'clock. Horizon Reports with Karina O'Neill. This evening's top stories.
Health chiefs face criticism.
I don't like to think that I would ever get sort of like, that's me on all those stations, because it is a job. I'm grateful for the talent that I've been born, blessed, or brought up with that have enabled me to do that.
Always better music. B97 Chiltern FM. Bedfordshire's better music mix.
Howard Taylor and the Morning Crew? You must be joking.
I guess if I was an egomaniac and I sort of sat down and thought, hey, this is me going out on all these stations, I could probably get quite big-headed about it. But I'm not in a situation very often where people ask me what I do for a living anyway. If I do, sometimes I say, all those bits that you hear that say, your better music mix and stuff like that? And they turn around and say, oh, that's you, is it? And I say, yeah, and that's kind of nice, But it's not like I go into shops and introduce myself, sing along to my own jingles. And of course you go into shops and you hear yourself and you think, it's me.
He was a man from...
Where's he from?
Swindon.